name is Yogini Rasa, and I would like to welcome you to the Open Yoga classes today. And today is November the 12th, 2014. We are meeting on the internet, and our website is www.yogaopenyoga.com. All the materials will be available there, including the text, the video, and the audio, and the exercises, as well as the tests. And today we are starting something completely new. This is the Wednesday, and on every Wednesday we are having online classes for everybody who is willing to learn yoga. So welcome you once again, and feel free to join the discussion. And if you can join the discussion, I will be very happy to receive your feedback as well as suggestions and questions to our email at yogaopenyoga@gmail.com. As I said, my name is Yogini Rasa, and I am yoga instructor of the International Open Yoga University. And I will be giving you several classes of yoga this year and the next year too. I hope that if you are here, if you are watching the material, that you have already passed our Yoga IQ test. That is very, very interesting and very, very exciting. If you did for 100%, that's amazing, and I hope that you will succeed on the same level on the next test. However, if you missed some of the questions, I hope that today you will get some answers, and also you will get many, many answers on the following materials. This is a very special feature of our free online internet courses, where you can study yoga at home without leaving home, and you can read the materials, you can watch the videos, listen the audio when you are on the way, and then after most of the materials there is also a small test to verify your knowledge of the material you have reviewed. And also on the site you have a chance to meet the people who share your interest in yoga, as well as you can ask our teachers and instructors the questions you are interested in. So we are very happy to have you here, and we will do the best in sharing the knowledge that we have. Today we are only this is the beginning. This is lesson 1, and we will start with the very basics. So if you are new to yoga, that's great. And if you already have some yoga knowledge, that's wonderful. And we are welcoming everybody. We will use rather simple language because not many of us are very good at the Sanskrit or have much of the experience in the old texts, ancient texts, or the Vedas or any other teachings. Thereby we'll use as simple language as possible, and we will go from the very basics, and step by step we will go further for you to build your knowledge like the how on the stable foundation. This is the knowledge that might help you to understand better all the texts that are available there, because most of them, not some, but most of them are quite complex, and they need some prior information and prior knowledge. Also, if you are willing to study yoga more deeply, and if you are searching for the teacher or your guru, then most of them are quite busy, and are not taking the students who don't have the sufficient understanding of the knowledge or experience in yoga. Thereby, we hope that the knowledge you will gain here will help you further on to find your teacher on your way uh, to some heights in this area. But as we start from the level 0, from the ground level, and we must start with the question, what is yoga? We have a wonderful material already published on our site that is question and answer based interview with our main teacher of the International Open Yoga University that you can look through, and I really recommend to do that. My lecture today will be a bit more simple. However, it might give you a new view and look on this topic, maybe um, understanding of this area from a different aspect and more connected with our day-to-day life. So let's start. Um, As some of you might know, then yoga is very ancient, very logical, very kind, and very harmonious system. It is the system of self-exploration and exploring of the universe. As you see, it goes two ways. One is exploring of yourself, and the other one is exploring of the universe. Of course, you can choose one of the ways. You can either explore yourself or explore the universe. And you will reach the final goal of the yoga and you will be completely aware of who you are. Um, However, it will take more time, more efforts, and it may stop you on some way. Thereby, it's a very good idea for you to combine these two systems together. Probably some of you have heard that the yoga is a union. Uh, it is finding the harmonious way and avoiding of extremes. However, it doesn't mean that you should be like yes and no and maybe. The yogi is rather certain person. They know what they want and where they want to go. Of course, if we would stay on this level where we would say that yoga is simply the system of self-exploration and exploring of the universe, um, then there would be a lot of misunderstanding. Thereby, we have to add that only the system of self-exploration and exploring of the universe that follows two principles of yoga can be called yoga. And those are the first and the second principle of yoga. Easy, right? Um, do you know them? The first one is the principle of no harm. Very many world systems uh, have this principle, and it sounds like that. You should do the maximum effort to try to avoid harming any living being. However, if it's impossible, you should follow your duty. Yoga is very realistic teaching. It is not somewhere that you are flying somewhere in the sky. And we understand that even when I breathe or when I sit here, some small uh, living being has to die, when you make a step, also somebody is suffering, for you to be in one place or the other, somebody will be in less beneficial situation than you will be. So it is not that easy, even when we start thinking that we would do no harm. Even sitting in a cave, we, with our actions, we are causing some harm. Um, Thereby, yoga says that you have to follow your duty. Let's take an example. You are a doctor and your patient comes to you and needs a surgery. Surgery is not a very pleasant thing, right? So, but what happens otherwise? If you are not doing your duty and fulfilling your responsibilities as a doctor and making a surgery, your patient may die and suffer very heavily. So, you are doing your work, you are helping the patient. It means that your work should give more benefits rather than causing the harm. And yogis would prefer to do nothing rather than causing the harm. Of course, there is this thing of the duty. Also, the example of a teacher and a student. The teacher gave a homework that students were supposed to do, and one of the students didn't make it. What does the teacher do? There has to be some kind of the punishment. For example, not giving of new knowledge, because otherwise the other students would say, well, what's the use of making a homework if we can get the next knowledge anyway? And that would bring more harm than the benefits. But when there is a situation when the student understands, yes, we have to do the homework, then we will get the extra knowledge and things work great. So this is the idea of the first yoga principle of no harm, and still you have to follow your duty. The second principle, or the principle of logic, or the principle of common sense, says that you have to name your goals, you have to define your goals, and do everything to achieve them, and not waste your time, your efforts, your energy, and not pay attention to things or direct your consciousness to things that are leading some other way. So if you said it, you do it. If you promised, you do it. If you decided, you do it. This is very logical, right? And works very nice. And did you notice there was not a thing said about what kind of goals should it be? It can be any goal. It can be a goal at work, at studies, in your relationships, in yoga. You are absolutely free to choose your goal. Of course, yoga invites you to name bigger goals, because then the smaller ones will kind of be already included in this big one. And here you see yoga goes well with the modern life, even though it's very ancient. It's huge in any lifestyle, any time of being, as you are just being effective. You said that you are going to do something and you do it. For example, you decided to join a university. You don't join 10 universities at the same time. You decide the one that suits you the best, where you can be that can bring the maximum benefit, and you go for it. And you don't go like, Okay, one day I go and the other I don't. Because you know that in this way you will never be able to graduate from this university. Thereby, you said that you are going to do it and you do it. Also, when it comes to the efficiency, yoga suggests you to make a 5-minute plan of the day. Um, let's say it as a homework for the first lesson already. And it means that during the tomorrow or and day after tomorrow, let's say maybe a week or at least a day, you make you write down what you do. Uh, for example, you are working, you are having a lunch, you're going shopping. First in the morning you woke up and sometime you were sleeping, and sometime you spend on the learn for studies, for learning, for watching something on the internet, social networks, and you write this all down. And this is a nice thing that you can analyze. Uh, one friend of mine said that he's never making a mistakes. He is simply getting experience. Even if somebody from outside would say that he failed somewhere, he says, "No, I didn't. It was just my experience, and now I know how to avoid bigger mistakes in the future." And I really tend to agree with this person because the experience matters. And when you have this diagram or things that you have done during a day, you can see without cheating where are your strong and positive things, where you are being very effective, and also it's showing where you are less effective. Um, but don't do like this. Oh, I have to be very effective, so I have to work maximum and bring the time of the rest to the minimum. No, this is not working. You have to do this in a harmonious way. You have to combine all the methods of letting go and forcing yourself very harmoniously, because otherwise you are burning out. There are a lot of people who spend many and many hours at work, and first they are very effective. Later on, they get very, very tired, and there is just no result. The person is there at the computer, but nothing is working out. So try to balance these two things. You have to be with the people, you have to meet friends, you have to have a good sleep, because sleep is very important. It's the time when our body and structures relax or when they process some information. And this is the way we are created. This is the way we are. Of course, you can do some practices that don't require much sleep, but you also have to understand that the good sleep a lot often is related to the good well-being and good um, good well-being. Let's say like that. So the good plan is very good. Also, one more thing that I would suggest already today, make a small yoga diary where you would write down the time that you spend for your practice, some notes on your emotional condition, what have you learned, some important notes, maybe something on the way that you eat, what kind of people did you meet, because also the factor of remembering is also important in yoga, because when we hear something, like when I'm talking right now, you would say, "Oh yes, I understand, this is very logical, this is very easy." But when I would ask you to repeat what I have said today, um, maybe you would notice one or two facts, and some of them would be probably related to my friend that I was telling about his perception of mistakes. But would you remember the first and the second principle? Mm, yes or no? If you have heard about it before, yes, but if not, then it might be quite difficult. You can also check with your friends. Um, Take any famous person that they don't really know much about. Put there some important facts. Well, some 10 to 12 different facts, and read it as a text. The next person has to repeat what he or she remembers, and then the others don't hear it like you said to this person, and then you give to the next person telling everything what they have remembered, and then compare what was said in the very beginning or the piece of paper, and then what did we get at the outcome. Very interesting, very exciting things you can find out. And this is how the information works. Somebody said one thing and then there was an interpretation and so on. So, but the most important thing is that you write down what you do during 1 or 2 days, or if you can do it for 7 days, and you also make your yoga diary. Some important notes that during a day or at the end of the day you would like to write down. And if it's necessary, you can look back to review some important aspects of your life. So, these are the two principles, and this was the principle of efficiency. And as I said, we have to kind of work hard to manage them in a very harmonious way. But when it comes to the choosing, should we be very kind and do no harm, or we rather be effective? Then we have to remember that yoga says that first things first, and it means that the first principle is prior. No harm principle is prior, and only then comes the principle of efficiency. So, being kind, being nice, because we are all interrelated, mutually related, and when you kind of pull one string, all the others are moving all together, and the planet is round, and one action here can bring the butterfly effect in some other place, and it returns to you completely different way. Uh, for example, you might make a nice surprise to one person, and you receive a favor in a different way from somebody else. Um, Here, I would also like to mention that we have to be very careful with our kindness. Sometimes we pretend to be kind, and we sometimes do something nice to others, not just because we want to be nice or we want to be kind, and this is the first principle that we should follow, but it's rather our ego. Um, and sometimes our ego is fooling us. It's very tricky that you are doing kind of a good thing, but then it turns out that the effect was not beneficial. At this very moment, it's a bit difficult to find an example, but let's say that grannies sometimes like to spoil their grandkids. Uh, and in a way, this is the way they are expressing their love and trying to be very nice to their grandchildren. At the same time, parents would say that they are spoiling the kids, and it's not helping much if the grannies are regularly giving them sweet candies because they become very energetic, and there is the big problem with the self-control later on. So yes, you always have to assess this yes or no, or sometimes it is your duty to put somebody in a place. If somebody is being rude to you, sometimes you can let it go, but sometimes it is your duty to tell the person that it's not nice to behave like that, or you even have to implement some kind of restrictions regarding this person if they are not fulfilling what they have to do. So we decided about the first and the second principle and about the way it happens. So we need this harmonious approach to everything what we do. And if we speak strictly about yoga, then it is, for example, Hatha yoga that is very, very popular in the West, the most popular kind of yoga that exists here. Then you do the exercise, you take a pose, and at first you take the approximate pose, and you spend some time there feeling how you feel, letting it through and enjoying yourself. Always on the background there is a joy. And then you kind of force yourself a little bit. You go deeper, or you stay longer, or you kind of do it in more stretching. But you do it for the less time than you did with the other method. And then you take a rest, and you get this feedback. What does your body tell about it? How do you feel in the first position? How do you feel in the second position? And how do you feel now? It's all the same in the life. You do things mild and soft and calm, and then sometimes you have to force yourself. For example, you are going, and then you see that your bus is coming, and you have to run a little bit just to catch up with the bus. And then you can sit nicely in the bus and enjoy this wonderful ride. Oh, and this is amazing how things that happen on the yoga mat or during the yoga practice are reflected in our life. Completely different things. So these are not detached things that you would go simply to yoga studio or at home on the yoga mat, spend there some time, and this is completely different from all of your life. It is a very important aspect that you can enjoy, and that will give a lot of benefits to you. And also this will later give a lot of benefits in the life that is happening outside you. That's why we were talking about yoga, that it's the teaching, the system of self-exploration and exploring of the universe. And also the second yoga principle helps us to concentrate more on what we are doing. Like when we talk, there are people who would say one sentence. Of course, yoga is the system of self-exploration and exploring of the universe. And this is the very essence. This is the method when you effectively do things. And then sometimes when you are talking, you are jumping from one subject to another, like a little frog or a monkey, and your mind is jumping. You start with talking about what you're going to make for the dinner, then you go on telling about your friend, then you go on with telling about the kids. This is somehow related, but you were making the dinner or talking about the dinner and you left this topic. Like us today, if we would talk about yoga and then we would jump from one topic to another. Still, even if we kind of make a little step aside, we make it on the purpose to explain what we mean, and then we go back on to the main topic. Thereby also the factor of remembering, as I said, is quite important for all of us. And if you have the diary, then this fact of remembering is even more effective, and you will see how the actions that you do, they are more meaningful and more helpful to you, and that in the achieving of your goals, you are much more successful than before. So yoga is very beneficial in this way. And concentration, there's even special kind of yoga that is working on your concentration. I already mentioned that there's only one yoga. There is one yoga, and it's an ancient teaching, feeling very well in the many societies, many in different periods of time, among different people, and it's for everybody, not for just some exceptional people. It's for ordinary people who are willing to improve their lives and make them better. Actually, we are very fortunate to have this knowledge right now, because less than 200 years ago, this was very disclosed, very secret area, and not many people had access to it. But obviously, something happened that made the big teachers, the people who were very good in this area, to decide to disclose this teaching. Probably there was the high possibility that we could lose all of yoga at all. And now, when we take a look, it's quite a popular brand to use the word yoga, and they use it for fitness, they use it for different products, and actually there has nothing to do with yoga. And at the same time, there is a lot of good and useful information around. However, the yoga itself is protected from inside. When you read the yoga texts, you might find it quite difficult to understand because we don't get the context, how it was written, and understanding is somewhere in between the lines, rather than just direct translation or the meaning of the words in the text. And there's sometimes the rhythm is important, and sometimes it's other aspects. Thereby, we have to kind of go deeper in these two main yoga principles to understand the further and apply them in the life. Because if you don't kind of let them be inside you, then the effect of the teaching will be quite weak, or there will be none. At the same time, and I'm again telling you at the same time, we don't always have to know what we are doing, because we like Hatha Yoga because it's practical. We see the pose and we can take this pose on one level or the other. It doesn't matter, but we can do it. And slowly, gradually, it starts bringing some changes inside us. But when we know what this pose helps us, then we can make a progress much faster. And this is this factor of the teacher that is on our way helping us to do these things faster. All this knowledge is a big gift to us. And as I said, only exceptional people used to have an access to this information. Now it's available to everybody. You just need to find it. You just need to understand it. You just need to work with it. And some people are simply collecting the books, putting them nicely on the shelves, and it looks good. They look very confident, very smart. However, they haven't even opened these books. So there is no use for the books to stand on the shelves. There is only use in books if we are reading them. And sometimes we need to read once, twice, and 3 times, and many, many times to understand all these layers of the information that is coming to us. In yoga, the experience is very important because many things you can't explain and you can't understand unless you go through them, and then you are kind of, you get these small sparkles of understanding, bringing the inner fire, just to kind of get this perception of the area that you are coming in contact with. So here in yoga, it's nice to read. Also, you can also read, but have no experience in this. And again, it's not working. So we have the small scrambles of the knowledge left, and a lot of things we will have to rediscover again. And each person practicing yoga is rediscovering it inside again and again. If we didn't have even these scrambles, it would take much more time, much more efforts, many more mistakes than we can imagine, and this would be very, very difficult. For example, at the very end, we would come to the first and the second principle, but it would require many, many years, maybe many lives, and many, many mistakes. Because when we have a lot of information and our technologies are developing very fast, that our mind is not really able to catch up with all of that. That we get kind of confused, we get lost in this big amount of information because we don't have these clear guidelines. And yoga is really giving us this chance to just to have stable foundation in our life. However, there's nothing more stable than changes, right? Only constant value is the fact that things change. Still, if we take a look on this ancient teaching, it hasn't changed. We need to change the ways how we give this knowledge further. For example, it's not in today we have internet. It was not here 200 years ago and centuries ago, and students were going with the teacher all the time, spending their life there. But it's not mandatory. It's the yoga adjusts to the place and time where it is, and we don't need to follow the rituals if we don't understand them sometimes, where we don't have to dress like somebody else is dressing, or we don't have to live in a cave. We can live in a home. And yoga is very good for our modern time and modern cities. It is just very kind and very logical and very up to date. Um, so, yes, but at the same time, I didn't mention one more thing that is important. Yoga, the aim of yoga is to expand your freedom. Freedom, the aspect of freedom, of the free will, is kind of the key moments in yoga that we have to talk about. And there's always a free will in yoga. Thereby, yoga says if yoga is restricting you and causing you more loss than the benefits or the bonus, then you just leave it out. You refuse from yoga, you are free. We are always free to choose. However, if we feel that first and the second principle are opposing to each other very heavily, then we don't really feel free. And it means that there are some problems in our previous actions that have brought to the moment when things start disagreeing. And we will have to go through this process of consequences of our previous decisions to fix them and have the life going more smoothly. Also, when you choose the school of the yoga work that suits you, you will say, but they are so different. They use different methods, and one people let it go, and others just force themselves, or others more do this and more do that, and somebody are not doing something of others. This is like when walking in the mountains. There is one top, but there are very different paths how you can go. You can go slowly, you can go fast, you can take a narrow road or a very wide road, you can climb the rocks, you can find different other ways. Doesn't matter. The top is the same. Of course, the ways how we get to the top are different. Some methods suit to some people, some don't. And everybody has this free will inside them to find the school or the teaching or the teacher that suits them. And it is very interesting way how we meet the people whom we meet and how we get the information that we get, how the knowledge comes to us. At first, there is our willingness. We express our will to get something, the goal, as I said, for the second principle. When we have the willingness, this is our will, we want that or something else, we desire it, then there is next thing that we need to think. We need the knowledge, how to reach the goal. And when we have the knowledge, we add activity and we have the experience. And at the very end, we get the result. Also, what is related to the second principle, it doesn't matter if you find the result good or bad. You make the conclusions from the result, and they affect the activities that you will do in the future. And it is very, very important to analyze this fact after each activity. When you get the result, make the analysis, because when we go to some doors and we have made in our mind that we need to get through them, we're just bumping our head there. When we don't see that there is the door next is open, and it's even better For example, when you plan your trip second by second, when you want to be really effective, uh, you have planned everything, starting from the airplanes, trains, how much time you will need there and there. But then you get in an area mm, that something ruins your plans. Like bus doesn't come on time, or you meet somebody who tells you the wrong way, you get lost. But and then you start stressing out regarding factors that are not really related to these facts. So you need to kind of enjoy where you are, being there and at that moment, uh, and and have this feeling that acceptance that things may change, uh, and you do your maximum as much as you can control, and then you have to entrust to some higher power that things will work out. If not, then probably you either need more time, more efforts, or there's something else underlying that you need to fix. Good. Uh, so, as we mentioned, that the main thing is the harmony and the inner joy about all that you do. And when you think about your goals, spend your time uh, visualizing, trying to concentrate. How would you feel if this goal would be reached? If you would get your new car, or if you would graduate from school, or if you get the job you wanted, how would that affect? Because not don't bring you to the condition when you are a millionaire or billionaire when still there is lack of 1 million. Now, each crisis changed the people understanding of valuable and non-valuable things. Uh, is really one more car making you happy, or some other some exotic trip, or you name it, whatever it is. Think if it's leading you to what really makes you happy, and if it doesn't, turns out that well, you have to do it. You desire it with all your essence. You strive for it. You go for it. Good. And then you just make the conclusions about these things. Uh, what is important in a life, what is not. And I think you will find a lot of interesting things there. So, um, and yes, you have to use your freedom, and there's also this aspect that nobody from outside will ever tell you if you are happy or not, or if you are succeeding or in yoga or not. When it comes to the success in yoga, the only thing that may verify that you are successful in yoga is the regularity. It's not your flexibility or how much you can bend somewhere, how many poses you may take, because it's just the surface level. Uh, some people try to bend as much as they, and it hurts. And then they feel that, oh, the back hurts, or they have stretched something too much. Uh, what for? Is this really necessary to impress people around, or are, is, do you want to impress a teacher? No, the teacher is there for you to be able and confident and helping you in some areas, but um, only you yourself can feel if it's inside, if it's harmonious or not. So yes, the concentration and your inner feelings will work in this way. Uh, In our school, we tend to start with the classical methods of yoga. These are, as I mentioned, are Hatha yoga, and there's also dynamic physical yoga that is called Kriya yoga. There's also yoga of breathing or pranayama yoga. There are the sound yoga or mantra yoga, and there's meditation. These are the basic ones, and nobody really have managed to succeed without them. And we, during our lessons, we will review these aspects. All of them, at least a lesson or two will be devoted to each kind of yoga, and there will be materials available on them in the future. So the new material on Hatha yoga is coming ready. So, and karma yoga and kriya yoga. So I will suggest you to become familiar with them. But this was the time. And to go on, let's review one more aspect. Is yoga a religion? Some people who have read some texts say there are a lot of gods and goddesses mentioned, so it has to be religion. No, yoga is not religion because in religion you have one god or several gods, you have strict dogmas, while in yoga there are no gods. There you just try to become familiar, to get to know your supreme self or higher self. And there are no dogmas in yoga. Yoga says that the prime factor is freedom. Um, in religion, usually there are some exceptional people who kind of say that they have access to the gods or to the higher spheres, and only they have this access to this knowledge and justification to why it's the one way or the other, and they're not sharing this knowledge. Then yoga is open as much as you can discover it, as much as you can understand it, and yoga invites you to use your common sense, your logic, to verify everything. And if something is not working, then they say you should omit it, you should throw it away. No, don't use it. And I completely agree with the perspective that there are only small pieces of the knowledge left or available to us, and there are a lot of misunderstandings, misinterpretations, because yoga texts are being translated from one language into another and another. If there was one origin and then it was translated from it, but now it's like one said this and that and that, and there are a lot of authors that read two books and next morning they have their own book and their visions and understanding of how it should be. Then be very careful. If you can check it yourself, if you don't put it through your own experience, but use your common sense, do you really need it? Process through the entire logical level rather than just believe it, take it, or leave it. And also, thereby, yoga can be practiced by any religion or if you don't belong to any religion at all. It will be helpful in your way to understand yourself. And if somebody is restricting your freedom, then think about it. Why they would be doing. However, yoga is showing respect to religion as such, because it is helpful to very many people. They're bringing communities together. Have, and still, there are a lot of wars in the world just because of their religion. They find that their religion is one and supreme, and no other religion is working. So, mm, uh, respect from yoga to the religion. We don't want to kind of discuss or to kind of say no, this is not right, because everybody's free will is the prime thing. And still, if it's your duty and your responsibility, that's on the other side of the freedom and of the things that you are doing. Also, we mentioned that yoga is related to some physical exercises. It's only one aspect that brings us to the physical exercises, but it is very popular among Western cultures and other cultures to relate yoga to some physical exercising, and there's a lot of fitness yoga today. Um, there are many kinds of yoga, as many as there are ways that people can express themselves. So physical aspect is only one of them and not mandatory. But yes, our body requires some exercising, that's true. When people are in sports, they're trying to achieve some victories, and then it doesn't matter how this person will feel a year after or 3 years after. If you look at the professional athletes after their career, and it finishes about 25, 30 years of age, we can see that they are not feeling very good. And it is not yoga. It is complete non-observing of non-violence to yourself. And also in sports, there are many other aspects that are not that kind and pleasant. Thereby, any sports activity may be yoga, and at the same time, it can not be yoga. If it follows the first two principles, yes, it's yoga. If not, then it's just fitness. Also, we have heard, and I guess you too, that yoga is healing. Yoga is healing. You can heal everything with yoga. Then, of course, most of you will get a very positive effect from the exercising, from the applying yoga principles in your life. However, it's not the aim of yoga to heal anything. It is the work of the medicine, and the greatest respect to all our doctors that are helping our people. And yoga invites, if you have any problems, primarily consult your doctor. And also, before you go to yoga, it is preferable to consult with your doctor to see your health condition, because our medicine is very good, on a very good level. However, we are not simply the physical body, we are emotions, we are more than an emotions, our mind and everything. And this all is so interrelated that there are some aspects that medicine is not able to treat, and still, if your tooth is aching, you would be suggested to visit a dentist and to have your tooth fixed. But Medicine is not following this principle of no harm, and like in a science, they try to experiment with people that, from the aspect of yoga, is not very not right from the aspect of yoga. But also, again, that greatest respect to the doctors who are helping us to feel good, because many people are really born with this gift of being a doctors rather than just learning the things at the universities, but also really being heart doctors. And the benefits that you will get from yoga will depend on you, and you will feel them. Some of the benefits will come faster, some of them will require some more time. Thereby, the dictionary, the diary is important here. Just to follow some. Did it hurt something? How did you feel afterwards? Did it take some more time? We will talk about the practicing of yoga and some um, some aspects that you have to be ready for that might be related to your exercises, and also about the food that we consume and the communication we have. This all will come with the time. But if you feel that you have lost some kind of balance in your life, and presence and applying of the yoga principles will be uh, giving the benefits to you. Still, nobody will be able to give you any guarantees. Um, Even doctors, right? They are not giving you any guarantees. They have these certificates, they have um, a lot of powers and a lot of skills, but they can't guarantee that this is going to work. Yoga also is not guaranteeing you anything. Um, you will see yourself that some things happen just at one touch, while others require a very long time. And all that matters at this very moment is your regularity of practice and your joy from doing the exercises. And at the same time, as we were talking of the role of the teacher has to offer, has to make the knowledge available to you, but the fact of learning depends only on you, because like in the example with a small kid, when we tried to teach the kid to read, we are helping the kid to learn reading. Actually, the kid has to have the will to start reading, and only then with this action of learning, the kid learns. And nobody can teach you anything. Only you can learn things yourself, and that's an important factor to remember. And if there's this notion that there is no joy in yoga practice, then either you have to search for some other teachers, like in other areas. If you're not satisfied with your dentist, you're looking for the other one. If the English teacher is not good for you, you would seek for somebody else. If your phone doesn't suit you, or you think it's not good enough, you again are searching for something else, and this is your possibility, your right to do that. And also, if you want to receive the knowledge, you kind of must have this willingness to receive it, and then it gradually comes to you. You express the willingness, you try to find it, and then you try to apply it in your life. Because knowledge, the information is not the knowledge. When it comes to the knowledge, it brings also the experience. And we can talk a lot about yoga, about the benefits, but if you don't do it, then it won't give you any benefit in this way. So, we have discussed today what is yoga, discussed some of very basic factors like the first and the second principle, the principle of harmony. We also discussed the different areas of life that are not yoga, and those are religion, medicine, and fitness. And also we talk about the different schools of yoga, and there will be some things that you will understand with your logic, and then there will be some things that you will not be able to explain with the logic. Thereby you have to follow your common sense and kind of concentrate on the region of heart that will help you to be more clear about this topic. We also talked about your little homework that you should analyze your day or week with your plan, how to make your life more effective, and to observe the second principle more. And also suggestion to open up your yoga diary and to make some first entries about every day, just to memorize things, just to follow how things are working out. One more time, I would like to remind you that all the materials will be available on our website, yogaopenyoga.com. All the archives, and also on this lecture you will be able to see it and hear it, and also test the knowledge that we reviewed. And you are very welcome to send your feedback to the email yogaopenyoga@gmail.com. Please feel free to contact us, and we meet every Wednesday online. All information is again on our website, and we will continue learning yoga systematically from the very basics. So see you next week or next time, and good luck with your progress in yoga. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.